What a way to end the month of October on Halloween with the Hurricanes going home with full-size candy bars and the Boston Bruins going home with a fright.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to a Friday edition of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you to the Everydayer for making this your first listen of the day. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, talking everything about your Carolina Hurricanes. I'm your host, Zach Martin. I'm the credentialed Carolina Hurricanes beat writer over at the Hockey Writers. I also do a Chicago Wolves column called Wolves Weekly. Also the co-host of the Search Cast, which is a weekly Carolina Hurricanes podcast, along with all my duties here at Locked On Hurricanes. Got a fun first November episode of the pods. We are officially into November. Going to be recapping the 8-2 rout that the Hurricanes put the Boston Bruins in on Thursday night for Halloween in a very haunting game for the Bees. And also going to be looking at, who stood out, what things we can take away from this game and all that good stuff. Plus, we get to hear from Jack Roslovic as he had his first multi-goal night for the Carolina Hurricanes in spectacular fashion. But before we jump into all that, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Now, like I said, the Carolina Hurricanes put on an absolute show Thursday night for their fans on a Halloween. A lot of great costumes. We got to see, a mini Jackson Blake, a fantastic Seth Jarvis costume as well. Full mustache, full send on the Harvard cutoff. And of course, those, kids got able to go on the ice with the team after the game to do the storm surge and also pass out some candy. But, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but, it's always good to see the costumes coming out and you love to see it like that. But the Carolina Hurricanes, start to finish, probably one of the most dominant games of the season so far. And if you were on social media, I posted the post from Hockey Stat Cards for the analytical game for the Hurricanes last night. That was probably the best analytical game I've ever seen the Hurricanes play. Probably under the Rod Brind'Amour era. There was no player that had more than 0.5 of a negative on their stat card. Basically, for the most part, everyone was positive. There was multiple, and I mean almost 3/4 of the team were all perfect stat cards. That is how dominant the Carolina Hurricanes were last night. One of the big takeaways is for the fact that they held the Boston Bruins to 15 total shots. 15. Like, I know the Boston Bruins team is struggling, but for the fact that you had one period for the Hurricanes, they had 18 shots in the second. Their second period shot total alone was more than the Boston Bruins' entire game at 15. The Hurricanes, 37 shots, 8 goals compared to the Boston Bruins, 2 goals and 15 shots. Now, face-off percentage, the Boston Bruins did finish with a 56.2 compared to the Hurricanes' 43.8. But, I mean, hey, man, if you want to give Boston something, sure, let's give them that. But how about the power play last night? My goodness, they came out flying. After going 0 for 3 against Vancouver to set their 5-game power play goal streak, how about 3 power play goals last night to go 60%? 60. You're talking a domination factor for the Hurricanes on the special teams. Now, in my preview, I said limit your penalties to 3. You don't want to give Boston a lot. Well, they gave them 5 power plays, but they only capitalized on 1. And it was from Brad Marchand of all people to tie the game, but overall 20%. Hey, you'll take it. You go 4 for 5 on the penalty kill, 3 for 5 on the power play. Not a bad night overall if you're the Carolina Hurricanes on the special teams. That's even when they're getting out hit 32-12, of course. It's the Boston Bruins, but what a way to set an absolute tone for this game. And even if you look back at the first period, how about for the fact that After the Boston Bruins tied the game on a power play goal from Rim Marchand after Jack Roslovic scored 6:20 into the game, Andrei Svechnikov got a power play goal of his own. Jackson Blake scored not too long after, and then Martin Necas with his own power play goal. 2 power play goals, and this is within 52 seconds. Andrei Svechnikov at 17:14, Blake at 17:52, and then Martin Necas 18:06. The Hurricanes in 52 seconds managed to go from being tied to up 4-1 with 2 power play goals on the night. I mean, you want to talk about an absolute domination of that first period alone for the fact that you score 4 goals in the first period with multiple power play goals. Now, how about Jack Roslovic getting his 5th of the season to start the things on? Of course, Aho and Svechnikov get their 6 assists each. Shane Gostisbehere gets his 4th assist. Martin Necas gets his 8th. Jackson Blake, once again, a great tip-in from a Dmitry Orlov shot, once again doing his job, getting his 3rd of the season. And then Martin Necas for his 5th of the year. Seth Jarvis with an assist. And Shane Gostisbehere with his 2nd assist of the game for his 5th as well. Of course, the second period, Hampus Lindholm gets the Bruins back 4-2. And then it was Andrei Svechnikov once again for a power play goal. And not even a minute later, Jack Roslovic for his 2nd of the game, 6th of the season. In a span of not even a minute, we were in an Andrei Svechnikov, Jack Roslovic Hattie watch. Like, have a start to your season, Jack Roslovic. And the fact that he has scored 6 goals in 9 games already, it shows that he's really fit in within this system. Of course, we're going to hear, from him later on in the episode when we do his press conference in segment 3. For the fact that he's even put out there that his style fits this system so well, and I've been saying it for the last few episodes. And I've even written about it on the Hockey Writers. If you haven't checked out, go to thehockeywriters.com, check out my Jack Roslovic piece of what he brings to the team. His speed fits this style so well, and I've been saying for the fact that how good he's been starting out this season, I will not be surprised that after this 1-year contract is over, if I'm the Carolina Hurricanes, I am signing this dude up for at least a good 2 or 3 year contract because his style is fitting in so well with this team, and I think it's you saw how good he was with Winnipeg and Columbus and New York. You see something was there. But now the fact that Rod Brind'Amour and his staff and the system that Carolina plays has unlocked something to Jack Roslovic. For the fact that he leads the team in goals. Like, you're talking about someone who is still learning the system 9 games into the year and has somehow put himself in a spot where it's like, okay, he's going to have a couple goals. He might have an assist here and there. He's still trying to feel his way around the team. No, that's not Jack Roslovic. He literally leads the team in 6 goals. Yeah, all of his points are those 6 goals, but for the fact that you're a +3, insert yourself into the top 6, play the whole preseason on the left wing top line, go back down to the second, moved yourself up to the first line right wing spot with Svechnikov and Aho. He is a +3, 6 goals in 9 games. I mean, talk about a start to your season, Jack Roslovic, of how good he's been playing. And how about the fact that Andrei Svechnikov also gets 2 goals as well, gets his total up to 4. Now he's second on the team with 10 points. 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. We right now have 4 guys either at a point per game or more. Sebastian Aho, 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points. How about Shane Gostisbehere now? He started out with 4 goals on the season. Now he's picked up 5 assists in the process. Now he's up to 9 points at a +3. Like I said, Andrei Svechnikov, 4 goals, 6 assists for 10 points. And then Martin Necas leading the way with a +6, 5 goals, 10 assists. But we'll go into more of the stats here in a little bit. But just for the fact that you've had, in this game, first period alone, you had 52 seconds of having 3 goals from a 1-1 game to a 4-1 game. Boston makes it 4-2. And then all of a sudden, not even a minute apart, you go from a 4-2 Carolina Hurricanes game to a 6-2 game, and now you're on a double Hattie watch from Andrei Svechnikov and Jack Roslovic. Then in the third period, how about having your first goal, Sean Walker? You love to see that from him, just how great, that fact that he finally got off the schneid, he finally got his goal, And now we have Sean Walker as his first point with the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, we've talked a good majority of the game so far. There's still a lot more to talk about, guys, because there's a lot to unpack from this 8-2 rout, haunting, whatever you want to call it. So you know what? Stick around here as we'll talk more about this game, who put up more points, and talk about the multi-point games a lot of these guys had. So stick around as I'll do that here on a Friday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Gametime is a new feature called Gametime Picks. It makes getting tickets for your favorite live event even easier. And we're not talking just sports, comedy, concerts, theaters, and so much more. And with Gametime Picks, it filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The one good thing I like about it for the fact that it just makes it easier to find tickets for not just, like I said, sports. If there's a Broadway show you want to go see, well, Gametime can help you out with that. Is there a comedian that's coming to town you want to get tickets for? Well, they can do that as well. And with this great feature, too, with the Gametime Picks, there's another feature they have called all-in pricing. If you toggle this feature, you can see your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout, but you got to make sure you turn this on so that way you have no surprise fees at checkout and you know what you're paying for up front. Now, the other feature I really like, well, it's their panoramic view seat finder that you can have in the app. So you don't have to worry about obstructed views or awkward angles and stuff like that. They basically take the guesswork out of buying tickets. And that's what you can do with Gametime. So download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL. That's LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Well, it's game time. Welcome back to segment 2 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. And I said at the end of segment 1, there's still a lot more to talk about from this game for your Carolina Hurricanes. And we talked about how Sean Walker got his first goal of the season. You'll love to see it from Walks. Finally got off the schneid, got on the board for his first as a Cane. But you want to talk about someone who finally got off the schneid, finally got removed from being snake bitten. This was one of the guys I talked about for the preview, someone I wanted to watch against the Boston Bruins, and that is Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And oh goodness, it is good to see him finally get the goal that he really needed. An absolute great wrist shot around the Boston Bruins defender to get past Giannis Korpisalo. Yes, Giannis Korpisalo is in net. We talked about how Jeremy Swayman was starting this game. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Jesperi Kotkaniemi, fantastic shot. You'd love to see it. It's so good to see him get that goal finally. He's been hitting so many posts, just having a whale of a time trying to find a way to get his first goal this season. He finally got it. Now that puts him 6 on the team with 7 points, 1 goal, 6 assists, and he is sitting at a +4. Just a great start to the season for Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and it's just you're loving of how this team is playing so far, and the fact that you look at a team that was hosting the Boston Bruins. The Bruins have been struggling. Like we said, going into this game, they were 4-5-1, but now you come out with a absolute dominant win. It's one more can you really say when you go 3 for 5 on the power play. You held them to 1 power play goal on 5 chances. You outshot them all game. Every period you outshot them 10-5, 18-5, 9-5. You held them to 15 shots total, 5 in each period. And talk about multi-point games. I mean, we talked about how good Andrei Svechnikov was, how good Jack Roslovic was, multi-goals from those guys. How about for the fact that Martin Necas, oh my absolute goodness, talk about a game for number 88. How about for the fact that he had 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points against the Boston Bruins? I mean, what more can you say about this guy right now? He is currently leading he's right now second in the team in goals with 5, right behind Jack Roslovic, but he leads the team in assists with 10. Sebastian Aho's at 6. Points-wise, Martin Necas is at 15, Andrei Svechnikov is 10, and then he is also tied for plus-minus with Eric Robinson with a +6, with Orlov at a +5, Walker, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Jack Drake all +4. But Martin Necas last night, like I said, he got his way into a power play goal and then just 3 assists for 4 points, goes from 11 to 15. Yes, it's still early on. We're not even fully 10 games into the season, but for the fact that he is putting himself well above a point per game player already to probably, I would say, the hottest start to a season I've ever seen from Martin Necas is absolutely wild. You were hoping going into the season, yes, okay, you go from 3 million to 6.5, and I've been talking about this over the last week. You have to see how your big boys do, especially for a guy like Necas who is coming off a down year last year. You're questioning, okay, how much he's going to ask for? Is he going to be worth it? Can we see the 71-point guy that he is? As of right now, I don't think at some point, maybe the pace is going to drop a little bit, but I still think he's going to have a really huge season for the Hurricanes. As of right now, he is on pace to around 66 points by the Four Nations break. Yeah, no, we're not even talking about the trade deadline or anything like that. By the Four Nations break in February, he's on a 66-point pace. That is how on fire Martin Necas is right now. I have a good feeling we might be looking at a career year for Martin Necas in terms of goals, points, and assists. Like, for the fact he's already at 15-9, he might be blowing 71 out of the water with no issues. We could be looking at an 85 to 90 point season for Martin Necas. And for how much you're paying him at 6.5, you're going from, like I said, you're giving him a $3.5 million increase from last season. You want to see that out of him. And if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, you are so glad you kept him around. And I'm glad they kept him around. Like I said, I've been on his train for a long time. I've been liking this kid's game. Yes, he had a down year last year. There was a lot of debate and turmoil during the offseason of like, is he going to stay or is he going to go? But the fact that he's staying and is playing so well, if you're the Hurricanes, you might have to be like, I don't think you're not putting yourself in we have to get this figured out now. But I do think there are some conversations probably starting with, okay, if we're going to extend this guy, when do we want to get this done? Like, how much are we going to give him money? And, you're going to be looking at July 1st of like, okay, he still has a year left, but let's go extend him. Let's extend him July 1st. I would not be surprised if we see a big extension coming from Martin Necas if he keeps this, even if he finished the season with 80 to 85 points and has a career year, and maybe his 66-point pace by the Four Nation break drops off, but even still putting himself into a season where you're getting 80 points, I would easily say that you could be looking at a point of we're going to extend this guy. And you have to with how good Martin Necas has been playing right now. You cannot overlook of how good of a season he's already having for the Carolina Hurricanes and just the way he's doing it too. And for the fact that he wasn't the only guy with a multi-point game last night. Andrei Svechnikov, 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Seth Jarvis, 2 assists. Jack Roslovic with his 2 goals. And then Shane Gostisbehere, 2 assists for his 2 points. Dmitry Orlov got on the score. He got an assist. Sean Walker with a goal. Just Barry Kotkaniemi and Jackson Blake both got goals. Marnook, Carrier, Aho all had assists. How about Martin Necas too last night? He was part of a group that was a +2 with Drury, Carrier, Blake. Just an absolute dominating game overall for the fact that Martin Necas played an even 19 minutes, 21 shifts. He had 2 shots in this entire game. It's wild to see how just straight up dominant he was in this game. And we have to give flowers to Pyotr Kochetkov. Yes, his save percentage is a .867, but you give up 2 goals on 15 shots. I would not really look into a save percentage of like, it was below 900, but it's like, it was 2 goals on 15 shots, and they were, shots that were okay. Yeah, it is what it is. Those goals happened, but you still got to give props for Pyotr to come in for the fact that now he's going to be the goalie for, since Frederick Anderson is now officially week to week as we got confirmed before the game. But you'll take a great game like that from Pyotr. You come in, take care of business. You got the win. It's one of those things where you have to overlook the save percentage when it's so little in terms of the shots that you saw from that. But overall, great, fantastic game from Pierre Gachako. Great game overall from Jack Roslovic, getting his first multi-point game for the Hurricanes. Andrei Svechnikov multi-goals as well. And like I said, Martin Necas, man of the game, 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points, is a +2. What more can you say for the start for 88? You just love to see that from him. Now, talking about Jack Roslovic, well, guys, stick around as we get to hear from Jack Roslovic from his post-game press conference and get my thoughts from what he said. So stick around as we'll do that here in a second on a Friday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Get ready to tackle the NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Welcome back to segment 3 of Locked On Hurricanes, your team every day. And like I said, at the end of segment 2, we get to hear from Jack Roslovic and get his thoughts on his first ever multi-goal performance with the Carolina Hurricanes and how he thinks that his game really fits the system well. So without further ado, let's hear from the guy they call Rosie.
Could have gone pretty sideways given the way things started, but the PK kind of comes through, and you guys obviously really poured it on the rest of the way.
Yeah, that was a by committee kill, a great kill. I mean, we were bailed out, by that asset that we have. So it was great. Yeah, I mean, obviously, a couple 5-on-3s could have gone the other way, but it's great how they stuck with it.
Does it feel like everything's going in right now?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you can score, it's great to add that value to the team. Just got to pass a couple more, maybe.
Have you had a goal scoring stretch like this to start a year?
I don't know.
Last season you scored 9 total goals. Season you have 6 now already. I mean, do you feel like anything's been different, anything at all you can account to?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the style of play that we play. I think, like I said from the beginning, kind of, it fits me a little bit. So I enjoy playing in the system. I enjoy being at the rink every day. The guys are a special group, and it's been easy. It's been fun, and we're just gonna keep on grinding.
How much does the road trip, the success on that, just help boost confidence coming back home?
Yeah, it's impressive too. I mean, usually you go on a road trip, you go 5-1. It might be a little hard to refocus with the whole time change and everything. But amazing how we showed up to the rink today. Like you said, we battled a little bit of adversity in the first, and then kind of just took off.
Can you tell us what Rod said on the bench?
No.
Big thank you to Jack Roslovic and the Carolina Hurricanes. And you got to love the response from Jack there going, it's like, hey, I got a lot of goals. Maybe I start need to getting assists now. And it's just, it's good to see from him for the fact that he's talking about how his style is fitting really well. And I said earlier in the show that, Seth Jarvis in the offseason said that his speed is very noticeable, even with Eric Robinson's. And, if you ask anyone from the Columbus Blue Jackets and their fan base, and they said that he's got the speed, he's got the skill. It's just, you got to figure out how to unlock that next level. And as of right now, the Hurricanes looks like they've unlocked that potential for Jack Roslovic, to where even the reporters are talking about, like, how do you feel about this start? And it's just kind of like 9 goals all last year in 59 games. This season, he's got 6 and 9. So, I mean, it is a blistering start for Jack right now. It seems like he and you can tell it sounded like Corey Lavalette asked him, like how it seems like everything is going in for you, and it really is for him right now. When you talk about your first multi-goal game with the Hurricanes, you got 2 last night. Now he's up to 6, leads the team in the goal category. Like, he's ahead of Martin Necas. I don't know any other new guy that's come into a system either under the Rod Brind'Amour regime or the Hurricanes in general. I don't know any guy who signed with the team not really ever expected to put up the goals that he is, and he's doing it. And that's what Jack Roslovic is right now. He is finding a way to putting himself into a spot where you are gladly taking the depth scoring that he's giving you. And of course, I say depth, like he's not like a third or fourth line guy. He's playing first line with Aho and Svechnikov, but he's not someone that you would think of as being, okay, he's going to be putting up 6 goals in 9 games, or someone who's going to have probably 12 to 25 in with a new team like that. Now, his career best in goals is 22 that they have with the Columbus Blue Jackets back in the 21-22 season. So could we say he might be having a new career high in goals? Possibly. It's I mean, hey, you got 6 and 9, very understandable. You might hit 22. If he does, great. If not, hey, what a start to the season, and you'll gladly take what he brings. And for me, and I said in my piece of what he adds to this team, like I said, hockeyriders.com, go check it out. It's his speed. His speed is very underrated, and it's something that you're adding it to a squad that has Chatfield, Nietzsche's, Jarvis, Robinson's got speed. Like you have a team with a lot of speed on, and the fact of Jack Roslovic brings that, it's really something that you can see. And like I said, you love to see where he's at right now. He's top 10 on the team in points. Yes, it's all goals, but hey, you'll take him any way you can get him. And just for the fact that he's adding another layer to what the Hurricanes really need, because a lot of people were wondering how are they going to score goals. Well, there's your goals right there. And of course, now you're getting, a big contribution start from Martin Nietzsche to where he's at. Andrei Svechnikov is scoring goals. You had 2 last night. Have a game, Andrei Svechnikov. Seth Jarvis playing on the third line with the Jordans again, but he's still putting up points. Seth Jarvis doing Seth Jarvis things. Jesperi Kotkaniemi got a goal. We love to see that from him. Shane Gostisbehere is absolutely a man on a mission this year to prove why he wanted to be here and why he deserved that contract. And he's doing that so far, where you're talking 4 goals and 5 assists already for putting himself a point per game guy as well. You will gladly take that. So right now, just seeing what Jack has been able to bring, I know as a fellow Ohioan myself, being from Northeast Ohio, Jack is originally from Columbus. It's good to see some guys from Ohio thriving, especially with the Carolina Hurricanes. And I know all my friends that I have back in Ohio who are Columbus Blue Jackets. And of course, everyone knows that I, have a soft spot for the Jackets, like one of my teams that I like to follow and stuff like that, just because it's the home state team. Of course, Hurricanes #1. But it's good to see. I know they got to be loving it too, seeing Jack thrive the way he is right now in Carolina. Of course, yes, it's in division, but it's good to see that Roslovic is putting himself into a good spot of where, he's making $2.8 million and it's a 1-year deal. But like I said with Martin Nietzsche, are you looking at a 2-3-year contract extension for Roslovic as well, just because of what he's bringing? So you got to see how the season goes as well. It's still 9 games in, but if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, you're feeling pretty good about yourselves of where Roslovic is putting himself in right now for the team. And just the team overall are playing inspiring hockey. You're 7-2-0 after 9 games. You got 14 points. You're on a 5-game winning streak. You got the Washington Capitals here in a couple days on Sunday at home at 5 o'clock. So you do have Friday and Saturday off before you play Washington for another divisional game at 5 Eastern. So you're feeling pretty good about yourselves on a 5-game winning streak and just how the team is going overall. But you love to see that from Jack Roslovic and the Carolina Hurricanes. But guys, that will be a Friday edition of Locked On Hurricanes. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. If you want to keep up with me, you can follow me on OneTrueZach on X. The podcast is @LN_Hurricanes. Click the link to my bio. You can find all my articles at the Hockey Writers. Just go to thehockeywriters.com. Got a recap coming out soon later today talking about the game overall. If you want to check out my other podcasts, just go look up the Search Cast on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. For this show, Locked On Hurricanes on all podcast platforms. Leave a 5-star rating and review. And if you do, I might rate it on the show. On YouTube, Locked On Hurricanes. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell notifications so you don't miss a show. Hit the thumbs up button. Let me know you like the episode as well. And in the comments, let me know what you loved from the Carolina Hurricanes' 8-2 win over the Boston Bruins. Share this with all of their Caniacs so they become everydayers just like you, because we are over 1,020 subscribers. Let's keep this ball rolling. Let's get to 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Let's not stop this momentum that we have going on so far for this podcast. Hope everyone enjoys their Friday fun day post-win for your Carolina Hurricanes. I hope everyone enjoys their Friday. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. Hope everyone has a great weekend. And until next time, as always, let's go Canes.